Today marks the 7th anniversary of my marriage to Bruce Green, and it's also my 24th birthday. The sky outside darkened gradually, and the neon lights of the city filtered through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting mottled shadows across the living room floor. I started preparing 3 hours early, carefully taking the cake from the fridge and placing it in the center of the dining table in the living room. 24 candles were stuck in the cake, their flickering flames casting a warm glow over the pair of table settings on the table. I sat on the sofa, clutching my phone. On the screen was a photo of Bruce Green and me on our wedding day. In it, he was smiling, his eyes full of tenderness for me. Time passed second by second, the hour hand on the wall clock finally pointing to 8. Just then, the door lock clicked as it turned. I immediately stood up and hurried to meet whoever was coming. The moment the door opened, the smile on my face froze. Behind Bruce Green stood a woman I didn't know. She wore a loose, cream-colored dress, her long hair falling over her shoulders, and her hands gently cradled her belly. From her posture alone, it was clear she was pregnant. My heart sank suddenly, and instinctively, I clenched the hem of my dress so tightly that my fingertips turned white. Bruce Green took off his coat and handed it to the servant who had come forward, his tone as casual as if he were commenting on the weather. "Evelyn Xavier, this is Ruby Walker. She will be living here from now on." His gaze swept past me without the slightest pause. As if I were nothing but air, I said nothing, simply staring fixedly into his eyes. Once, those eyes had overflowed with tenderness for me. No matter what mistakes I made, as long as I looked at him, he would soften. But now, those eyes held only coldness. Like a frozen lake in the dead of winter, without a trace of warmth. "You'll move to the guest room," Bruce Green said, his tone sharp and commanding. "Ruby needs someone to look after her, and the guest room is close to her room, so it'll be easier for you to help whenever needed." Why? I finally found my voice, though my throat felt clogged and my voice trembled slightly. 7 years of marriage, could it really be this fragile? "There is no why," Bruce Green frowned, impatience evident on his face, as if my question was a bother. "It's decided, don't ask again." Standing behind him, Ruby Walker timidly tugged at Bruce Green's sleeve, her voice soft as a breeze. "Bruce, wouldn't it be too much trouble for Ms. Xavier? After all, this is her home." Suddenly moving in has already been a big disturbance. Bruce turned around and raised his hand to gently pet the back of hers, the gesture so intimate it was almost painful to witness. His eyes on Ruby held a tenderness I hadn't seen in a long time. "It's not trouble, shall be sensible." Watching their seamless interaction, my heart felt like it was pierced by countless tiny needles, stinging all over. But I didn't cry. Tears welled up in my eyes, yet I fought them back with all my strength. I took a deep breath, nodded, and said in a voice so calm it felt alien to me, "All right, I'll move out." Bruce Green didn't seem to expect me to agree so easily. He paused in surprise, then averted his gaze and carefully supported Ruby Walker's arm as they slowly climbed the stairs step by step. I stood still, watching their entwined figures fade away until they vanished from the stairwell. Then I slowly walked over to the dining table. The candle flames on the cake still flickered, but the warmth in my heart was slowly fading. I reached out and gently blew out the candles. The moment the flames died, the living room was plunged into dim darkness. From today on, I intend to forget the name Bruce Green. Those sweet memories tied to him should also be sealed away, never to be touched again. Since Ruby Walker moved in, everything in the house has changed. The villa that was once filled with laughter now holds only oppression and silence. Bruce Green no longer eats with me and barely speaks to me anymore. Every morning, he personally goes to Ruby Walker's room to have breakfast with her. At night, he stays in Ruby's room until late, sometimes even sleeping on the sofa there. One morning, I woke up earlier than usual and decided to go to the dining hall to cook some porridge. As I reached the dining hall door, I saw Bruce Green and Ruby sitting at the table. Sunlight streamed through the dining hall windows, falling on them, and somehow it looked unexpectedly warm and tender, but this warmth stabbed into my heart like a knife. Ruby Walker was looking down, drinking milk, wearing a pearl necklace that shimmered softly in the sunlight. The style of that necklace was almost identical to the one Bruce Green gave me on our wedding day. My steps faltered, and my eyes locked onto that necklace as memories instantly flooded back to our wedding 7 years ago. That day, Bruce Green fastened this necklace around my neck, saying he wanted me to be the happiest woman in the world. Ruby seemed to catch my gaze, lifted her head, looked at me, then deliberately touched the necklace around her neck. a faint, almost elusive smile playing at the corners of her lips. "Good morning, Ms. Xavier. Bruce Green bought this necklace for me yesterday when he took me shopping. He said this style suits me well. Do you think it looks nice?" Bruce Green lifted the coffee before him, took a gentle sip, never once meeting my eyes, and said to Ruby with a faint calmness, "Good if you like it. Whatever you want in the future, I'll buy it for you." I said nothing and didn't answer Ruby's question. I just turned and walked out of the restaurant. My footsteps felt as heavy as if weighed down with lead. With every step, the pain inside me grew deeper. I knew Ruby was doing it on purpose. She was staking her claim, and Bruce Green chose to stand by her side. Later, the city held a charity auction, and as a well-known entrepreneur, Bruce Green naturally had to attend. He always took me with him to every event before, but this time, he brought Ruby instead. I found out about it from the servant before he left. That day, I sat alone in the empty living room, staring at our wedding photos on the wall, my heart heavy with bitterness. On the day of the auction, I couldn't help myself and drove to the venue alone. I sat in the corner of the last row, watching Bruce Green and Ruby Walker seated in the VIP front row. Ruby leaning against Bruce, her face radiant with a happy smile. My heart felt as if something was tearing it apart. The pain made it hard to breathe. Halfway through the auction, a lot caught my attention, a sapphire necklace with an oval blue sapphire pendant surrounded by tiny diamonds, sparkling brilliantly under the lights. This necklace was my mother's favorite piece of jewelry when she was alive. After my mother passed away, the necklace was taken to auction. I've always wanted to buy it back as a keepsake. When the auctioneer announced the starting price of $300,000, I didn't hesitate to raise my paddle, my voice trembling slightly. $500,000. The moment my voice fell, Ruby Walker, sitting in the front row, suddenly raised her paddle. Her voice clear. $600,000. I shot a sharp glance at her, and she just happened to look back at me, smiling with eyes full of challenge. I know she did it on purpose to steal him from me. $700,000. Gritting my teeth, I raised the paddle again, silently telling myself that no matter what, I had to win this necklace. Just then, Bruce Green's voice suddenly broke the silence. He didn't raise his paddle but calmly said, $1 million. The entire room fell silent instantly, all eyes fixed on us. There was surprise, curiosity, and sympathy. My hand clutching the paddle shook uncontrollably as I stared intently at Bruce Green, hoping he would spare me even a single glance. But he kept his gaze fixed on Ruby Walker, as if what he had just said was merely a passing comment.